Time for Law and Disorder.
I demand a lawyer.
With attorney Jeff Kaufman on 101.1 WJRR.
We are Orlando's rock. Jeff Kaufman has settled into position here from Kaufman Lynd. Good morning, sir.
Morning, gentlemen. It's good to be back. I'm glad that you guys are nice and rested and ready to take on the end of the year.
How was the Thanksgiving?
It was good. Had turkey, happy, around good people.
He went to Vegas.
Wait, freeze.
He went to Vegas.
You went to Vegas for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, why not? Wouldn't you if you could?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Hey, choice, man.
Just tell the family, hey, guys, sorry, won't be here. Heading to Vegas.
Hey, everyone got taken care of. That's
hey,
all
we were joking about this earlier. Do you see an uptick in personal injury stuff after Thanksgiving weekend come into the office?
Believe it or not, everything slows down a little bit because everyone's taking care of business. They're all getting ready for the holidays. They're all taking off. Everything slows down at the end of the year.
I was just talking about the Thanksgiving mishaps, with knives and turkey fryers and grease and just,
Big forks.
Yeah.
Every time I see a video with a turkey blowing up, I just have to say, hey, there's so many videos out there. Just watch one of them.
Hey, on a serious note here.
Pat did his on a green egg this year, on a serious note.
Big news with this President Biden pardoning his son Hunter of unconditional pardon on the tax and gun charges, which he was scheduled to be sentenced on here coming up. So that's all gone away now. I guess
you can't take the high road some days. Right?
Where does Biden said he wasn't going to do that. That's what's got everybody's attention now.
Politician lying? God, I'm so surprised.
Well, in all honesty, look, and some of you may be stunned that I'm even going to say this. I would have done it if I was him.
You heard?
It's your kid.
You heard what he said. As a father,
right?
As a father, I did it. And you know what? I can say what I want, but we all would do the same thing.
Right.
I got a shovel in the back of the car and a boat in the marina. Your kid has a problem. You got to take care of business.
And then if you get pulled over with said shovel, you just say,
not my legal advice, okay, people?
Is the pardon like a holdover from like British rule times where the king could be like, I have,
pardoned you?
Yeah.
It's a checks and balances system that exists in our government. Every group has a way to get around the other one. For example, if a bill or a law is wrong, the courts can overturn it, basically. The president can do certain things. For example, but very important, though, it only involves federal crimes.
Right.
Okay? It doesn't involve state issues, so he can't, pardon himself.
All right. Well, I was just curious. It was interesting that landed on Sunday night after a long holiday weekend.
It was very...
Kind of bury it in the news cycle.
I could have told you it was going to happen.
Oh, sure. Sure.
I could have told you it was going to happen.
Like you said, it was buried on a Sunday night. But it's all over the news today.
Well, of course it's going to be. I mean, and the story is not that he did it. It's that he said he wasn't going to. So now everybody's like, oh. And as Jeff said, oh, shocker.
Big shock.
Saying one thing and doing another.
Big shock. Politician says something.
That's an across-the-board issue.
Every time you turn around, this happens. And, I was just watching the Prime Minister of Canada, having lunch with Trump yesterday.
He showed up in Mar-a-Lago on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny when you have a threat of tariffs thrown at you, how you might all of a sudden show up with some concern?
I just hope the wars end. That's all my concern is over in the Ukraine. I just want it to stop.
I tell you what, back to the pardon thing, I would have dumped that sumbitch on a Thursday. Thanksgiving Day.
He could technically dumped it on his way out the door and not had to put up with it for the next a month and a half.
Yeah.
I would have gone, hey, they normally wait till the last day
couple
or
days,
two.
Yeah.
But I guess he might have been sentencing soon, or he wanted to make sure Christmas went okay in his household.
The sentencing was coming up, so it makes... Yeah.
Well, I'd be waiting on it. I'd wait till the last day. I might have held out.
But again, think what you want. As a parent, I would have done the same thing.
He said it. That's the big joke. The hard thing is that, we've been taught to lie. Every politician was taught to lie now. That's just the way it works. And people are going to listen to me. They're going, Jeff, this is ridiculous. It's the truth. When Nixon got burned, that was the last time we expected a politician not to lie. We're going to kick you out of office for lying. And then after that, it was like, I didn't inhale. And then we all have been kicking the can down the road.
And it was the dress.
Yeah.
I did not have sexual relations
Trump
with
pardoned his father-in-law. Let me think. Carter got his brother-in-law. Clinton pardoned his brother-in-law. Everyone does that.
Can we get to these questions, guys?
Yeah, throw some questions out.
For Kaufman, this one just came in. Brother-in-law is in the hospital. Hospital keeps screwing up. Need a good medical attorney. Any recommendations?
Well, malpractice, that's what you're saying. They're committing malpractice. I mean, they're not being unreasonable. I mean, in this terms, we know what we're talking about. Pat and I talk about this all the time. The deal is this: you have to show that they were not acting reasonable to somebody in their field, and that unreasonable behavior caused your brother-in-law's injury. Hospitals are tough. They got 1 million people in there, and I can tell you this: I wouldn't want to be a nurse or a doctor now.
No.
Well, this sounds like from the question that the patient's already in the hospital, and they have concerns with how the hospital is handling this.
Well, there's no way you can't just hire. The issue you're saying right now is that we want somebody to make sure everything is done right. There's no attorney that does that. If your brother-in-law is injured or something else like that because of it, then you hire a malpractice attorney.
Pat, it's just like you always say, it's hard to do it to get one doctor to go against the other.
Yeah.
Rich from Lakeland here. I am not a felon, nor did I lose my rights. I had a felony adjudication. How long do I have to wait before I can buy a gun?
Well, when he says I am not a felon, you've been adjudicated of a felony. That's what that is.
But,
I mean, adjudication is for the people know there are two things they can do. They can withhold adjudication. They can adjudicate. Well, withhold is just like saying, hey, we're going to, how can I put it? Just, it's happened, but we're not going to count it on the higher level.
We know you did it. Wink.
Yeah.
Wink.
We're going to pardon it.
What you're dealing with right now is for you to get pardon or clemency or anything else you're asking for, you got to go apply to the governor's office to do that. And it really depends on the crime. Certain crimes they will not pardon. They cannot seal. Then you have to get a pardon from the governor. So in this case, you're going to have to go to the state to get that done. But when you say I'm not a felon, if you were adjudicated of a felony, you are a convicted felon.
Somebody texted in and said, now Trump can pardon the Tiger King.
Was that a felony?
I don't know.
I don't think so. All right. I mean, was it in federal or state?
They're just joking.
Okay.
Wife.
That's what I think of.
Wife was offered a salary position where she wouldn't make 40 hours a week. If she didn't work 40, or she did, it's a type to text mess up. If she did work 40, all the overtime past that would come back as extra PTO. Is that legal? To give somebody overtime as paid time off?
This is not hourly. When they say salaried, it means that you get paid $50,000, whatever. Mm-hmm. You're not working hourly anymore. So there's no hourly on the table anymore. The issue is they could give you more PTO if they consider something like that. So yeah, but for our listeners, there's a difference between salaried and hourly. Hourly means 40 hours a week. Yeah. If you go over, they're responsible to pay you. Sometimes I think it's time and a half. Sometimes it's double. Like if you work at Disney, I think after a certain amount of hours, then they times it by 2. But
if
you're salaried and they say, hey, if you work more than 40, we'll give you PTO. Sure, I don't see a problem.
Take it.
I'd say take it.
Yeah.
Tell your wife to take it and run.
But you don't get overtime.
Here's a medical card question. Do you want to get into that? No. And it's just sorry. There's too many gray areas with the medical pot cards. How hard is it to get your record sealed or expunged? I did 1,014 days in prison. Who's counting? But as December 4th,
I'd count every minute.
Sure.
Okay. Every minute.
Little scratch marks on the wall.
Dude, I want you to know something. I'd be the Count of Monte Cristo in there trying to figure out how to get out.
Oh, I'd be Shawshanking it. I'd have chips in the wall, dropping rocks out of my leg.
The duty pipe.
Oh,
that's about it, man.
Straight through the dudes. Anyway, it'll make 12 years since being out. Have not had a single crime committed since, or even a traffic citation. It was a nonviolent crime. Wait, they want to know how to get the record sealed.
You got to go to the governor. There, you could. Like I said, certain crimes they can't get sealed, and certain crimes in a situation you're going to have to go to the governor.
And the chances of that are minuscule, right? I mean, unless you know somebody who's going to get.
It's hard. There are attorneys who do that. They specialize in that, but the governor only lets so many people go, and there has to be a good reason. I mean, for example, you've worked hard your whole life and you had this thing happen to you when you're 18. You've done so much in the community, things like that. They just don't give these things out like candy. It's tough.
Governor.
You can get them sealed. Certain things can be sealed easy, but the clemency from the governor, nope.
One more. We have time for one more, right, Richard?
Yes, do it.
Morning. On Wednesday, I submitted an HR complaint about being cursed out by a coworker. The following Sunday, which I'm guessing is yesterday,
I was fired.
A new schedule comes out without me on it because I've apparently been fired with no contact whatsoever. Do I have a wrongful termination case?
Wrongful termination because you complain that somebody swore at you. Wrongful termination normally applies in situations where they discriminate against you because of your color, creed, religion, things like that. I'm trying to figure, because you complain that somebody cussed at you, I don't know if that's wrongful termination. Florida isn't as, how can I say it, as caring for our employees as most states are. So I don't think you have a case. But I would contact an employment attorney and mention it.
Thank you. That's what I was going to ask. An employment attorney is who you're looking for.
Now, if the vulgar display involved something about your religion, your race, or
sex,
now you're getting into
exactly.
All right.
If we did not get to your question, don't worry. I'll print them out so you're good there. If you need to get in touch with Jeff directly, Jeff@whenyouneedus.com. That's Jeff@whenyouneedus.com. Pound 546 on your cell, or just give him a call at 407-500-JEFF.
All right, Jeff, anything else you need to share before we wrap her up?
Let's see. I think we have a movie in about a week from now. Contact me at Jeff@whenyouneedus.com. We're taking people to the Sony Spider-Man villain movie, Kraven. I believe it is the second week of December.
All right.
Okay, that's Jeff@whenyouneedus.com. Give them your name and how many are in your group, up to 4.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Coming up, 8 o'clock, we'll give you a big concert announcement. Then it's Lynch and Taco's commercial-free Workday Rock Block.
Lynch and Taco. Download the iHeartRadio app.